Hey guys, hi, how are you? Today I'm here to talk about the 5 things that I hate about my 2003 Lexus GS300. Now, don't get me wrong, I still love this car. It's in great shape and has been super reliable for almost 10,000 miles in 5 months since I bought it. But like any other car, it has its quirks. And I'll try to be fair, some of these things I should have known about walking into it, but some others have come to surface as the miles pile up. So let's go over the 5 things that I hate about my second generation GS. Number one, the lack of an infotainment system. I mean, we're talking about a 20-year-old car. And like I said in the intro, this one I knew walking into it. In those years, premium vehicles either came with the base sound system like this one, typically included like a cassette player, maybe a CD changer in the trunk, or you could upgrade to the first examples of navigation systems with a small screen with low resolution. The difference between this one and the 2007 Acura TSX that I had that didn't have a navigation system or Bluetooth was that that one had an auxiliary port, which is a lifesaver. This car has no Bluetooth, and I've had to make things work by the use of an FM transmitter. The sound is merely okay, and I always get some static. Sometimes I get a lot, sometimes I get a little, but I always get it. And I've tried to scan for other empty stations regardless of where I am, but it always defaults to the same station, and I can hear like a ghost station, sometimes a radio station in the background, which ruins the quality of the sound. Companies have reached out to me to try out their aftermarket solutions, but I'm trying to resist the temptation of modernizing this GS because I kind of like the stock look and the minimalist experience where not everything revolves around a huge touchscreen in front of me. I guess that I just wish I could get rid of the static for better sound quality. But I'm happy that at least the car didn't come with a factory navigation system that by now will be probably full of pixelation, just a huge white elephant and a real eyesore. Number 2, fuel economy. This 3.0 is not known to be fuel efficient, and it hasn't been even recently fuel efficient for me because I struggle to get 20 miles of combined driving between city and highway when most of my driving during the week is on the highway. 20 isn't terrible, but it's definitely not great for today's standards. It kind of makes up for it when I get on long road trips where I can achieve north of 25 miles to the gallon as long as I keep a steady and moderate speed without abrupt revvings or aggressive passing. It can get a little bit pricey too because since I bought it, prices in California for premium gas, which is what it takes, have been at around the $4.50 mark. When I make these videos, I try to put things in perspective, and for 2024, the average MPG of passenger vehicles was 24.4, so at that, my GS is about 5 miles below in combined fuel economy, or nearly 20% if I compare it to new passenger vehicles of 2024. But back in 2003, my GS was pretty much average for a midsize sedan. How does it compare today against midsize premium sedans? Well, it's a tough and maybe even unfair comparison, but let's give it a try. If my Lexus belongs in the premium category, and it's a premium vehicle, a premium sedan, let's compare it against whatever's left because a lot of vehicles that these used to compete with, they're just no longer in the market or have downsized in engine size and cylinder count or have implemented things like mild hybrids and turbos. But if we compare it to, let's say, the 2024 6-cylinder 5 Series, that one has a combined MPG of 28 miles per gallon, which is over 30% more fuel efficient than my GS, while the 6-cylinder E-Class can return a combined MPG of 22% more than this car. Yes, I know that the auto-tragic transmission is missing at least one more gear at a total of 5 speeds. And even when I switch to power shifting that can hold the revs a little bit higher to make better use of the power band, yes, it may feel a little bit sportier, but it definitely takes a toll on fuel efficiency even worse. So my point in this is that this vehicle is not a sporty car, but it consumed gas as if it was. The Mustang GT of 2003 had an 8-cylinder engine that produced 260 horsepower and 302 pounds-feet of torque. It did burn more gas at 16 in the city, 24 on the highway, but at least it was about 2 seconds faster 0 to 60. And if you don't mind driving a front-wheel drive car, I will recommend you taking a look at the Lexus GS300 from the same year, which yields 21 miles per gallon in the city and 29 in the highway. And I want to make emphasis on this particular topic because I know that some of you are way younger and are looking at a GS as your first vehicle. So I want to warn you that yes, you can find these vehicles for cheap, but filling the gas tank can get pricey and old quick, especially if you have a heavy foot or you do a lot of in-city driving. And number three, the cargo capacity of my GS. During the recent holidays, I got to experience how limited the cargo capacity of this car is because I had to pick up a lot of relatives from the airport, and it can get full pretty quick with maybe like a full size and maybe 2 carry-ons, but not much else. So whenever I had to pick up 2 or more people from the airport, I had to make use of my wife's SUV. The 2003 Lexus GS has a trunk capacity of 14.8 cubic feet, while the 2024 Lexus ES has a listed trunk capacity of 13.9 cubic feet, or a foot less. But because of the nature of a rear-wheel drive vehicle, the odd shape of the trunk in the GS limits its cargo capacity if you want to fill it with hard items. And before you start saying that I'm nitpicking my GS, I would like to know how many of you actually used your GS as a real daily driver, as a primary vehicle to do all things like commute to work and even take it on interstate road trips often. 10,000 miles in 5 months should give me some authority in casting light to the issues that make this vintage car fall short compared to other modern mid-size sedans. Because the seats don't fold down, I have very limited cargo capacity in this vehicle. And another thing that I want to point out is that this trunk opening is very narrow. So I have to be super careful putting in or pulling out items from the trunk so that I don't scratch the bumper. We're gonna talk about quality in a little bit. And this is very annoying. The fact that Lexus didn't implement a 4-bolt tie down for the license plate makes for that horrendous noise every time I hit that trunk. Every time I close it, I hear this thing, which I hate. Number 4, the instrument panel and controls. It's too dark in here. The icons don't glow in the dark, so there's no way that I can tell the difference when I'm going by feel in finding the toggle switch to open the trunk and not the gas cover, which happens to me all the time. There's also no way to find other reference things in here. And I don't know if it's a bad fuse or my car came like this from the factory, so I don't want to spend too much time on this, number 4. Let me know in the comments, please, if I need to replace a fuse or something. Closely related in number 5 will be some of the quality of the interior materials. Yes, the leather is pretty high quality. Yes, the seats have enough cushion, so they have held up really good. But there's things like, for example, this dashboard. I think that this dashboard could have been dressed up a little better to bring it up to premium level, because this just feels like a Toyota, which it is, right? And some of these stocks as well. Some of the controls feel pretty flimsy. If you close your eyes, this feels pretty economy. 20 years of road imperfections have taken a toll on this vehicle, so I get to hear some rattles and squeaks, especially after I switched to a firmer aftermarket suspension, along with this smaller profile tires and larger wheels. So yes, this last one was self-inflicted in part because I chose to alter the OEM ride, but I still stand by my opinion that the interior, especially the dashboard, could have been better dressed to bring it up to premium level, but Lexus didn't. Maybe they just wanted to save some of the premium feel for the bigger sibling, the LS. And unlike the 5 Series and the E-Class from Mercedes of the time that were born premium vehicles from their inception and their interiors show it, the GS was born a Toyota. So there you have it, guys. The 5 things I hate about our 2003 Lexus GS300. We continue to love the car. It drives amazingly, has been really reliable, and it has a lot of character, especially when you compare it to what's out on the road today. I think that sedans have fallen out of favor. They don't sell in the numbers they used to sell. So when I see these vintage sedans on the road, reminds me of maybe a better era of automobiles. Let me know in the comments if you think I was too harsh with the vehicle. Maybe there's issues that I didn't point out that people that are looking into these vehicles should know about, because some of your questions and comments make for excellent video content, because since this car is pretty drama-free, it's really hard to come up with topics to talk about. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.